Hey, what's up? Pastor Kai here again. So in this video, we wanted to talk about social engagement with your group and some kind of guidelines, some maybe tips or helps to think about how to, engage socially with your team. Because sometimes the question can come up, well, how often do I communicate with them? Do I follow up during the week at all? Do I try to see what's happening in their lives just kind of randomly, or how do we do that? So I think one of the best things that I have seen in my own group is that we have an open group chat, and it allows us just to kind of randomly connect with one another. And some people, you have to kind of gauge your group, because some people aren't all about the group chat because they just don't like the constant updates. But if you do like a texting chat, you can, or even like a messaging chat and some kind of social media, you can silence those if you're that person that doesn't really like to hear all of them, but you can still kind of check in and see what's going on. So I've noticed that creates a lot of fun conversation when we get together at our groups, because the silly things that will come up, we'll be harassing each other, or sometimes a prayer request will get thrown in there. Actually, a lot of times prayer requests will get thrown into the group chat. And so it just allows your group to have a little more continuity than just maybe once a week or twice a week, seeing each other at church or in small group. It's more kind of life, I guess, happening, because they're mentioning things as they come up. You're congratulating one another. Like if I know it's somebody's birthday, I'll group chat, and I'll say, hey, happy birthday, so that the whole group knows, and then they can say that. Or if I know something good has happened, I'll message the group chat, and that way everybody can kind of share in that. And it's been really cool to see how the group has taken my lead in that, and now they're starting to do the same thing. So that's just something I have noticed that's kind of good for our group, and you'll kind of have to gauge where your group is with communication like that, and if they think that'd be a good thing or not, and just ask them. Another thing I think is pretty good as far as connection go is eating. So I don't know what you all do as far as sharing meals together or whatever, but I found that gathering around some like heavy snacks can really just kind of create a cool atmosphere in your group. And so I would encourage you to introduce that. I was doing some research earlier on when we were wanting to launch our life groups and doing all that stuff, and they said about 3 or 4 in on maybe every one of every series, have a meal or something like that, where it's really light. It's just, again, it's allowing a social component for your group. So you're not just always studying, or you're not just always doing something, but you're just sharing life. Because it says, I think, as a leader or as a host, it says as group members that, hey, we actually care about each other. So we're not just here to do a study, but we're here to live life with one another. And so it gives you a different opportunity. If you use the whole time to just socialize, you get to know and ask questions a little bit, maybe follow up on something that you had talked about, or you can do that maybe one-to-one, and it's a little less threatening perhaps than in the big group. So there's a lot of good research kind of behind that idea of just taking times. And that's why we give the extended time, not just 6 weeks, but we give several weeks more than that, so that you can, if you want, plan these kinds of things in. Of course, there's going to be weather delays and stuff like that. But those are like kind of 2 big, I guess, tips that I've seen myself being really useful, and just doing some research I've seen can be really, really useful for other groups as well. Is kind of building that social component in, is getting a group chat, or like a regular way to chat, kind of just outside of what's going on with the group. That also allows you to check on them if there's any homework or anything like that. But it just kind of keeps the group in contact with one another. And then also just sharing a meal, just completely aside from any study or anything like that, but just getting together and sharing a little bit of life together, going out together. Again, these are all things that are just really unique and significant in the lives of the people that are in your groups. So I hope that's helpful this week, and we can't wait to see you for the next one.